It's your girl Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct. Truth Nation, what's the word? Oh my gosh, it is so hot outside. How is everybody doing today? Thank you so much for tapping in with your girl Jazz. Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can also download the Truth app. Anywhere you are located throughout the entire world, you can listen to us Monday through Friday. Thank you so much for joining us today. Man, listen, it's hot outside. I won't complain because we all know that Wisconsin has bipolar weather. So I will take the 90, 95, 100 degree weather. However, there has to be some type of limitations or some type of something set in place where we are allowed to, enjoy the weather with water. I seen recently on the news article about the youth opening up the fire hydrants. I mean, we all did it when we were younger, right? Like that should be legal at some point because this heat outside, I'm telling you, they should also open up the pools again. Back in the day, we had Moody Pool, Deneen Park, Lincoln Pool. We need some pools open up. I don't know who's over that. That's the city or county. But if you are listening, we need pools in the city of Milwaukee. Truth Nation, is Wednesday. We got a lot to talk about today. Today, I want to discuss choices, values, and priorities. Your life is the sum of your decisions. What does it look like when you make certain decisions, and how can you move forward by making better decisions? But before we jump into that, listen, it's been some crazy stuff happening, not just in the city of Milwaukee, but throughout the entire country, man. First and foremost, someone is so heartbroken to the point where they vandalized Giannis' mural, right? And I seen this, and luckily the guy who did the mural originally was able to fix it. But do you think that is something we should take down at this point? I mean, when I look back at the history of Bucks players, we've never given anyone a mural, right? Giannis has been the longest standing Bucks player in the city of Milwaukee, and I think that his mural deserves to stay there. That's just my personal opinion. I think that we should keep it. I think that he did everything he could do. And I do not agree with anyone vandalizing that mural. That's not cool at all. That's not cool at all. Also, I don't know if y'all seen, but a couple climbed the Empire State Building dressed as Darth Vader and Catwoman. And it appears to be a proposal. So they climbed the Empire State Building. He ended up proposing and pretty much was making a statement when it comes to love and how love overpowers government and all of the above. My question is simply, is that against the law? I mean, are you actually allowed to climb the Empire State Building? That should be completely against the law. I don't understand. First of all, it's unsafe. It is against the law. Thank you, Z. It's unsafe, first and foremost, extremely unsafe. And it's encouraging other people to do the same thing, which is, again, not safe. We got to be more careful. I mean, it's cute, but it's like how it reminds me of the 5 Heartbeats movie. Every night I got to fight to prove my love. How far are you willing to go to prove to someone that you love them? Listen, baby, I love you, but we not climbing no Empire State Building. You understand? I'm not climbing no building with you. I'm going to do a lot of things. I promise you. I'm a rider. But climbing the Empire State Building is not on my list. It will never be on my list. I'm curious to know what was going through their minds when they even thought of something like this, man. That is insane. Now, let's take it to the South Florida, to be exact. There is over, I believe, 19 doctors who have been charged because they have been charging Medicaid and insurance companies and not actually having patients. They're not giving the patients the services or the things that they need. They've been, if I'm not mistaken, they've done this and accumulated about $6.9 billion in South Florida. So we got doctors and nurses and medical staff out here scamming. And it's crazy because Young Miami is from Miami and she has the hit song. But I guess apparently she wasn't just talking about the regular constituents in the city of Miami. She was also talking about doctors, registered nurses, all of the above. I mean, at what point, we already know that there is a lot of things wrong with the medical system in America. Scamming is something that I don't think any of us expected, right? Like we understand and we know that things happen. But to have 19 plus doctors, nurses, etc., to be charged with falsely filing claims with Medicaid and private insurance. And then when you think about the patients and the people who actually have life-threatening illnesses, they have to pay their deductibles. They have to pay monthly fees just to obtain their medical insurance so that they can receive care. And you have people who done went to college for so many years, who have a degree, someone that you trust with your life, with your health, that's out here scamming. Man, it's a cold world. That is a cold world. I really, really do hope that they figure that out, because as someone who has been through some health issues, I'm a cancer survivor. I do not find that okay. I find that to be very disheartening, and man, that's a lot. That's heavy. That's heavy, man. I hope they get that squared away today. Jumping back into sports, I seen that LeBron is officially not a Laker anymore. I don't know how true this is. I seen something on Instagram, a headline that says that he's supposedly going to New York. It could be cap. I don't know. But LeBron is not a Laker anymore. However, his son is. This is getting interesting. Giannis left Milwaukee. LeBron left the Lakers. Where is the NBA headed? What is happening? I'm eager to see how this is going to play out. I really want to know. It's a lot of back and forth. I think the NBA need a break. I think they need to hire a consultant, sit at a round table and figure some stuff out, because it's kind of all over the place to me right now. And I also believe that a lot of the guys who are making these transitions, I don't necessarily know if the teams that they're going to make sense for them, right? Especially when it comes to the trades. Like I want to sit back and see how this is going to go. I mean, no slack to LeBron or Giannis, but man, what's next? Let's see. So again, today we are talking choices, values, and priorities, decisions. Your life is the sum of your decisions, and every decision that you make matters. Which way you turn down the street, what time you get up, what you eat, everything that you do every second on the clock matters. So we're going to kick it off with that today. Y'all know I like to do my affirmations. This is something that I started earlier this week. It's something that I do with my close friends and family and my students. And I would love for you guys to do this as well and encourage your loved ones to do it also. There's so much negativity in the world. We always need positive affirmation. So today I've had a lot of reflection, a lot of meditation, and My affirmation for today is I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy of everything that I receive. I am worthy of the blessings I have. I am worthy of the excellent and amazing people who are a part of my life. All of the great things that is coming my way and has come my way. I am worthy. And to those who are listening out there, I want you to tell yourself that you are worthy as well. And this is important, especially for single mothers, single fathers, and children, right? We have so many sacrifices that we make on a daily basis. So much to the point that we put ourselves after everyone else and everything else. And by the time we look up, we don't have energy. We aren't able to give ourselves 100%. And then we just let things fall wayside. And we begin to have doubt and fear and question ourselves because we're so used to giving, not people pleasing, but me, for example, I am someone who always give. I don't even know what it feels like for someone to always give to me. I know that I was put on earth to give, right? So when someone comes along and they say, hey, I have this for you, or I want to do this for you, it raises a red flag, which isn't technically a red flag all the time. It's just that I'm so used to giving. So I had to learn to tell myself that I am worthy of the things that I have, whatever it is that I dish out.
Home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
.7 The Truth. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct, and today we are talking choices and priorities, right? Every day we make hundreds of decisions, but very few of us stop to consider what those decisions reveal about us. Our calendars reveals our priorities. Our spending reveals our priorities. Our relationships reveal our character, and our choices ultimately shape our future. So today I want to reflect on one question. What do your choices say about you? Because it's easy to tell people what matters to us. It's much harder to demonstrate it consistently. I am very big on choices and decisions. Earlier, I was mentioning when we were going through what was going on in the news, I was talking about the doctors in South Florida who have been running a scam where they were billing the insurance companies billions and millions of dollars for services that they were not providing to their patients, or for medication that they were not providing to their patients. And they were building Medicaid, Medicare, and private insurance. So it wasn't just people who was not on state insurance or anything like that. Those people, which are typically people who live below the poverty line, were a part of that as well. And those decisions that they made affect people who have disabilities, people who have health issues, and all of the above. When we're talking about decisions, we're talking about understanding that decisions brings blessings and also consequences. And every decision that you make in your life is going to affect your life for the good or the worse. I've learned to trust my discernment so that I can make the proper decision. And as someone who has been through health issues, I want to touch on today decisions when it comes to your life as it pertains to your health, your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, and your mental health. In 2018, I was diagnosed at the age of 30 with breast cancer, stage 1 breast cancer. And this was a year after my auntie had passed from pancreatic cancer, and she passed unexpectedly. So when I received the news, the first thing I thought was, okay, how am I going to beat this, right? I didn't cry. I didn't go into a panic. I didn't think that I couldn't do it or anything. My mind was just strictly focused on how can I survive? And the first question my son asked me was, Mom, are you going to die like Auntie Netta did? And in that moment, I realized that I had a decision to make. I had a choice as to if I was going to give up or if I was going to fight. So I made the decision privately with myself that no matter what the news was, no matter what the outcome was, that I would give it my all, because I had children, I have people who loved me, and I wanted to make sure that they knew that by watching me fight through whatever it is that I was going through. So during this process, I ended up having to obviously leave the employer I was working for. I also was married at the time and decided to file for divorce right after I got diagnosed with breast cancer. And nothing was wrong with the marriage at that time. I mean, the marriage overall was a lot, but to me, I just needed to make decisions that made sense for my new life and what I wanted that new life to be. And in the process of me figuring out, again, I was 30 years old, right? I had never had a mammogram. I had never went to the doctor and talked about a mammogram, because technically your health insurance does not pay for mammograms until you are 40 years old, unless you have genes and you take the test that proves that you are high risk for cancer. So I made the decision to talk to my doctor, who had been my doctor since I was 18 years old. By the way, they ended up finding out that I had breast cancer on accident. I went in for my yearly checkup, my yearly checkup with my OB. He felt lumps in my breast. Went to get my mammogram. Come to find out, the breast he felt the lumps in was just benign. It actually happened to be cancer in my other breast, which they found accidentally. Not necessarily accidentally, because I don't think there's a coincidence, but I just find it breathtaking. Like, it blew me away that the way that God works. And when he referred me to the doctor who was going to care for my breast cancer, I did not have a decision in that, primarily because I trusted him. I had been with him since I was 18. He delivered all 3 of my children. At this time, I'm 30 years old, and all of my decisions pertaining to my health care with this cancer was based off of his expertise, his knowledge, and his trust in whoever it is that he chose, who happened, he stated was the best of the best. Fast forward, I go and take the test, find out I got breast cancer, and I start meeting with the doctors to plan out the dates of surgery and all of the above. And as I'm going through this process, the doctor was extremely nice. She was extremely kind. She was very knowledgeable, very caring. And I felt comfortable with her, so much to the point where I was like, hey, I understand why my doctor chose her now, because of her spirit and her character. And I felt comfortable in that moment. But what I should have done was realize that it's not about the feeling, because their job is to make you feel comfortable. It's about doing your research, especially for Black people and Black women in particular when it comes to the healthcare system, because the healthcare system has always been racist against Black women. And I felt so comfortable, I allowed my emotions and what I was feeling to take over the logical part of my brain, which caused me not to research, not to dig into who this doctor was. I just went off whatever my OB was telling me. So I asked her recommendation of if she think I should do radiation or chemo, or if I should just get the surgery. And she said, hey, I think you should do radiation. I don't think you should do chemo. And I do think that you should get the mastectomy. So I said, you know what? once I started, it's like something went off in my brain. Once I started researching, once I started asking questions, once I started talking to people who have been through similar things, that's when I began to realize that there was some decisions that I had to make. I can't necessarily take the recommendations from the doctors every time because the doctors go off of a book analogy. And one book does not apply to everyone's life. So for me, I've always been, and the crazy thing about it is right before I got diagnosed, I started to work out. I was actively in the gym. I was running. I was at the lake hitting the stairs. I was all of the above. So this had put me in a bad mental space, like to the point where I didn't even, after recovery, I didn't even want to work out or anything like that. But I say that to say it was great energy. Everything was, hey, I can do this, da 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 da. So I decided I had to talk with myself. I prayed, I meditated, and I had to talk with my family, and I decided that I would not do radiation, I would not do chemotherapy, but I will do the surgery, right? So the reason why I wanted the surgery was because my cousin, rest in peace to Quisha, she got diagnosed with breast cancer the same time I did, and she was 2 years older than me. And hers ended up spreading to her brain. So I was fearful of that. I did not want the cancer to spread. So I agreed to have the mastectomy. And during the process of having the mastectomy, I met the doctor who was doing the surgery. It was an 8-hour surgery. I let them talk me into putting a foreign object, which was an implant in my body. And I did not do the proper research. I just know that I didn't want to feel crazy, look crazy, or anything like that. So I'm like, hey, if we can do this surgery all in one, let's do it. So I went under the knife for 8 hours and had a major surgery to where I was supposed to, and I say supposed to for a specific reason. We're going to talk about it, but I was supposed to be on bed rest for 8 weeks, for 2 months. I could not raise my arm. I could not wash myself up. I could not use the bathroom on my own. I had 4 drains sticking out the side of my body that was pouring out, whatever was inside from the surgery. It was a very, very, very difficult moment for me physically and mentally. And the only thing I could think about was, why did I decide to allow them to do this to my body? Was it fear? Was it advice? What was it? I just know the pain was so unbearable, and I was so upset with myself that I would have rather in that moment gotten chemotherapy or radiation to avoid feeling whatever it was that I was feeling. So as I began to heal, the first week go by, I'm like, it's a lot going on. Remind you, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. Now the breast cancer is gone. I had the surgery. I'm also going through a divorce at the same time, which means that it's me in the household with my children by myself. So that 8 weeks of recovery turned into 2 weeks, because by the second week I was at work and my doctor asked me if I wanted to die. He said, do you want to die? This is unseen, unheard of. Never in history have we ever seen anybody who got a major surgery go back to work 2 weeks later. Shout out to Alderwoman Cogs, because Alderwoman Cogs is the person who asked me to come and work for her during this time. And I went to work. I couldn't raise my arms. I could barely move, but I was determined to make sure that I could take care of my family. And I ended up regretting having that surgery. I started to look into the doctors. I started to look into everyone who played a part, and come to find out, they were not the best of the best. I ended up having an infection, septic, which got into my bloodstream, and I had to go back a month and a half later to have another surgery, to have this object removed from my body because it caused a major infection in me to the point where I could have died. And Follow me here. It's long, but we're gonna circle. It's gonna be a full circle. Follow me here. So that happens, right? December comes, I get the surgery. After the surgery, I have to wait 6 months before I can have the reconstructive surgery, which means that for 6 months I had to walk around with one breast, right? And this was based off a decision that I made. I trusted this doctor. I trusted her saying this is what you should do without even studying my own body to see if I was capable of having this surgery that they were giving me, because it was such an intense surgery. And my body reacted in such a negative way that
Children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why reading is fundamental. The nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
101.7 The Truth. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct. Shout out to the chat all the way from Spain. Thank you so much for tapping in. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram at TapInMKE. Today we are talking choices and decisions. Before we went to break, it was story time, right? For those who are now joining, we were talking about a case in South Florida where 19 plus health officials were officially charged with scam, with fraud, healthcare fraud. So these are doctors and medical assistants and registered nurses who were billing Medicare, Medicaid, and private insurance companies, but were not providing the services to their patients. And I was speaking about, you know, my personal journey when it comes to dealing with the healthcare system overall. And as a cancer survivor, some of the things that I have, the challenges I had to face based off of the decisions that I made in trusting the healthcare system. And where I left off at was I ended up having to have multiple surgeries done because of one decision, the decision to trust this doctor based off of my longtime doctor who referred her. And she ended up asking me to take radiation, chemotherapy, and to have a mastectomy, but I denied the radiation and chemotherapy, and I just had the surgery. Ended up getting an implant, which caused an infection. My body rejected it. I had to get it removed. I have to walk around 6 months like this and then go back and have reconstructive surgery and all of the above while going through a divorce, while working 2 weeks after this surgery, right? Talk about strength. Talk about God's strength. Because to this day, I don't even know how I did it. But later on, I ended up getting something in the mail from this specific hospital. I'm not even going to say who, although I desperately want to, because this hospital is known for doing things like this, and then they're always getting lawsuits. But we won't bring it up, right? Just know, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. But anyways, I ended up getting something in the mail that asked me about a survey and if I wanted to be a part of, if I would be interested in being part of a research from this specific hospital, and they will pay me to be a part of this research. And I said, why in the world would they reach out to me after I just beat breast cancer and now I'm in recovery mode and I just went through 4 surgeries, and now they ask me if I would like to be paid to be a part of research? First of all, I'm not a guinea pig. Second of all, I find it odd that this was sent to me after I had gone through all of these things. So now in my mind, I'm wondering, what is really going on? Did I really have breast cancer? Should I have gotten a second opinion, right? What is it about this letter that's making me feel like something isn't right? So I doubled back and I start asking for, I went to this hospital where I had, who did my surgery when I had the breast cancer. And I start asking for my medical records. I start asking for all of the information on the doctors, everything that I can get my hands on, x-rays, CAT scans, mammograms. I needed evidence. I needed everything. And in my records, I ended up noticing that when I was younger, I had my first child at the age of 19 at this same hospital. When I was younger, they ended up coming to my home after I had my child. And mind you, I was 19 years old. I didn't understand what was happening. I thought that they was offering some type of service to assist me and my newborn baby because I was so young. And basically, they had already did this. They had already done the research. So the questions that they were asking me was not necessarily just to provide me assistance at that time, but it was because they were doing a study. So that raised a red flag to me. So now I'm thinking about what happened at the age of 19 all the way into the age of 30, health-wise, with me going back and forth to these doctors and them asking can they do research and all of the above. And I started to pay attention to the patterns. I started to pay attention to how I was feeling on this date when I went in and what they said and da-da-da-da. So I ended up making the decision to completely leave this hospital alone because I no longer trusted them. I did not trust the fact that they wanted to do research. They always want to do research because it put me in a mind frame of them purposely doing things or giving diagnosis just so that they can use you as a guinea pig and do some type of research. And what I started to do was become an advocate in the healthcare field overall. I started to, every test they took, everything that they did, I just started to train myself and research as much as I could to fully understand what it was that they were telling me so that they can't just tell me anything, right? And because I made that decision, I got a lot of backlash. I ended up getting into it with my doctor, who was my doctor for a long time, and finding another doctor. And when I went to another facility, a lot of the doctor that I had at the new facility was a lady from India. And she was looking over everything with the cancer and the results and all of the above. And I did most definitely have cancer, but she was so baffled by the fact that they offered for me to have radiation and chemotherapy. And granted, I did not take it. Instead, what I did was I just went vegan for 2 years and I did natural herbs. I didn't want to do the radiation and chemo. But when she looked at everything to its entirety, she asked herself, but she said it out loud, why would they offer you radiation and chemotherapy for stage 1? Especially if you're getting the mastectomy. There's no point or no reason for them to offer this unless they were trying to experiment or see what would happen. And this is another medical professional who was asking me, who was making this statement. So now I'm sitting here wondering how many times have us as a people gone to the hospital, the doctor, the emergency room or whatever, and we just allowed them to tell us whatever it is that they want to tell us without doing the proper research, without asking questions, without getting a full understanding of what it is that we need to, why are we here in the first place, right? So again, back to the point, the decisions that you make, it affects everything. It affects your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health. You have to start asking questions so that you can make the proper decisions when it comes to your health. Black people in particular, Black women in particular, because we experience the most racism in healthcare above all. There's actually studies that says that the reason why they treat us the way that they do when it comes to the healthcare system is because they believe that we have a certain amount of strength that no one else on this earth has, which is powerful, but it's also insensitive. So whenever we go to these hospitals, we make these doctor's appointments, we're admitted, all of the above, we aren't asking questions to make decisions. We're asking questions because we want to be comfortable when we need to be asking questions to make decisions, because they already have it made up in their mind. They're profiling us, right? They're looking at us. They're looking at our, not just our charts, but they're looking at who we are as a people. And they're saying to themselves, I wonder if I do this, if she'll be able to take it. If we don't do this, will she be able to take it? And let's be clear, the healthcare system overall is not meant to cure us. It's meant to make money, which is why there is no cures, because they make money off of us being sick. So the more I started to educate myself about the things that they were telling me, the more I went back and I started to look at my charts and the CAT scans and mammograms and all of the above, the more I realized that a lot of the things that they put me through, I did not have to go through. Had I made the choice and the decision to do the proper research, had I made the choice and the decision to not trust in the healthcare system as much, I probably would have not gone through the things that I went through, right? Which is sad, because a lot of times we don't have a choice. The only thing we know is to go to them when something is wrong, and that's completely fine. I'm not telling you not to go to the doctor. I'm not telling you not to make your appointments and take your blood work and all of the above. I'm telling you that make sure you know what it is that they're telling you. Understand what this word means, what that word means. Google, YouTube, anything. Half of the words we can't pronounce, but it's done that way on purpose. You have to do the proper research, because if they can tell you anything, all you're going to do is ever allow them to make the decisions for you. We have to be careful in the decisions that we make, because it could cost us our life. If we are not careful, if we do not research, if we do not pray, if we do not take the proper steps to make sure we understand what is happening, right? They already know that we don't read. They already know that we don't research. They already know that we do not study. So take that extra time. If you have time to scroll on social media, if you have time to make them phone calls and gossip.
Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
101.7 The Truth. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct, and today we are talking choices, decisions, right? As it pertains to your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, and all of the above, your emotional health as well. Before we went to break, I was giving you guys an insight in my world and some of the things that I had to face. At the beginning of the show, we were talking about the doctors in South Florida who were charged with fraud and scam. They were charging Medicaid, Medicare, and private insurance companies for services that they were not giving to their patients, right? And these are patients who may have disabilities, who may have life-threatening issues, all of the above, right? And this puts them in positions to where they may not can afford to pay for their insurance if they're not receiving services, all of the above. So I was giving you guys a story about my experience with the healthcare, my experience with not making the right decisions, and when I began to make the right decisions and how my life changed. But basically, at the age of 30, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, stage 1 breast cancer, and I went through a divorce the same time I went through breast cancer recovery. And I trusted my doctors to make the decision for me, to point me in the right direction on who it was that I needed to see. And I trusted this doctor. because of the way she made me feel, and not because I did my own research to make the proper decisions. And as a result, I ended up having to have 4 to 6 surgeries in 1 year because I made the decision. Well, I allowed them to make the decision for me. And fast forward, they ended up sending me something in the mail asking me, can they, interview me to do some research for a research study. And I didn't understand why they were asking me this 6 months after I had cancer, after I had, beaten cancer. And when I began to pull all of my medical records, I began to notice that they had did this when I was 19 years old and I first had my child. And I was unaware of what it was that was happening because I was so young. So I made the decision to dig a little deeper into these doctors, to dig a little deeper into my condition. And I, went and found a new doctor. And when I went to a new doctor, she asked herself, she said it out loud, why would they offer you or why would they recommend radiation and chemotherapy? And it didn't make sense to her. And I'm so glad that I made the decision not to have those things, because I can only imagine what would have happened had I did agree to have the radiation and the chemotherapy. Basically, she was saying that it was not needed. So can you imagine how many patients, how many people out there are receiving medical treatment for something that they do not, and they don't even need it for their condition, right? Again, a lot of the medical industry, the medical field is specifically to make money. That's why there aren't any cures, because all they do is capitalize off of us being sick. And the point of it all is for us as a people, specifically Black people, we have to understand that there is an extreme amount of racism in healthcare to us all, but specifically to Black women. And there are studies that says that Black women have a certain amount of strength, right? Which is why they ask if they can do some type of study or research on us, because the way that we're made, our anatomy, everything about us, the strength we carry, they want to utilize that utilize us as guinea pigs, right? And because we're so oblivious and we don't ask questions, we end up making the wrong decisions. And these decisions has cost us our lives, cost our family members and loved ones their lives as well. So we have to do a better job with researching. Even if you don't understand what the doctor is telling you, Google it or put it on YouTube. Either way, there's enough information for us to be able to figure out what it is that we need to do in order to make the right decision. So now that I'm older, whenever I go get my mammogram, right? And it's crazy because I remember watching on Instagram this doctor say how mammograms is actually harmful, more harmful than helpful, right? Especially if you are someone like me who have had breast cancer. And this is something that they push and tell us that we need to have every year. But guess what? It wasn't the mammogram that found the breast cancer. It was the ultrasound that found the breast cancer. So now I'm thinking, like, why are they pushing the mammogram so hard, right? Well, that's because they get paid a lot. Start contacting the billing department at your doctor's office. Whatever hospital, whatever organization, healthcare organization you are with, contact the billing department and ask them to send you the statement so you can see exactly what they are billing to your insurance companies. And once you're able to see how much these things cost, and while they're recommending certain things or they're removing certain things or they're not taking certain things seriously, then you'll begin to make better choices and better decisions about your health. You have to research what these people tell you. You cannot solely depend on their opinions and their advice, because their job is to keep their job. And how they keep their job is by making money. How do they make money? By providing you with prescriptions, by telling you that you need to come back for a follow-up check, right? They're not giving you the cure. They're giving you a Band-Aid so that you can consistently come back. And once you begin to research that, you'll begin to research the ripple effects. Well, when this happens, if you have any type of cancer, there's always a chance that the cancer can come back. So they're always instilling fear in us cancer survivors. When I was cancer free, they said, well, there's a chance it can spread to your ovaries. There's a chance it can spread to your brain. There's a chance you need to come back every year and get a mammogram. You need to come back every year and do this and do that. And then I'm looking, when I started working for myself, I'm looking like, dang, this stuff is expensive. I've been in remission for 7 years. By the grace of God, I have not been diagnosed with cancer in 7 years. I've been in recovery for 7 years. I haven't had any scares or anything like that, but subconsciously, I'm always in that mode of thinking like, dang, at any time it could come back based off of what they said, right? So I made the decision not to think about that. I made the decision to do my research. I made the decision to connect the dots, right? To make sure that whatever information they are giving me is accurate so that I would not end up back in the same situation that I was in. So again, stop letting, whether it's the doctor, whether it's your spouse, whether it's the teacher, whoever it is, stop allowing people to tell you whatever it is that they want to tell you without you doing the proper research. Because when you don't have the correct information in anything that you do, you are not able to make the correct decision. You are not able to do what it is that's best for you. You're going to make a decision based off of emotions and how you're feeling rather than a logical decision. Because you don't want to take the time to do the research. You don't want to take the time to ask questions because you don't understand what this medication says or you don't understand what this diagnosis means. You're not getting your medical records. You don't have copies of your medical records. You are not contacting the billing department to ask them what exactly are they billing to your insurance. Right? Start researching and start studying these things. Because if you continue to allow them to tell you whatever it is that they want to tell you, you'll never be able to make decisions for yourself. Our whole life, the government has been making decisions for us. The school system has been making decisions for us. The healthcare system has been making decisions for us. Our parents has been making decisions for us. The media has been making decisions for us. Social media has 101.7 The Truth. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct at the American Family Insurance Studio in the beautiful heart of downtown Milwaukee. American Family Insurance is a proud sponsor of The Truth. For almost 100 years, they've been committed to helping families protect what matters most: your home, your vehicle, and the dreams you are building every single day. And if you are a part of the Truth audience, you already know you work hard for yours. That's why having the right protection in place matters. American Family helps you stay ready for whatever life brings so you can focus on moving forward. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin. Truth Nation, it's hot outside. Welcome to the Tapped In. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. We are talking choices and decisions, man. We are talking choices and decisions as it pertains to your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, and your emotional health. Before we went to break, throughout the entire show, for those who are joining us, thank you so much. We were talking about the healthcare system and how the doctors in South Florida were charged with fraud for billing insurance companies, Medicaid, Medicare, and private insurance companies for services that they were not providing to their patients. And I took you guys on a journey in my life, in my world, and for those who were not aware, I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 30. And I also was going through a divorce at the same time I was going through my breast cancer recovery. And some of the experiences I've had with the healthcare company insurance companies, not just insurance, but also just the hospitals, was a very, very stressful one that raised a lot of red flags to me, so much to the point where I began to do my own research so that I can fully understand what it is that they were telling me. And my message as it pertains to healthcare, right, to our people, but specifically Black people, is that we need to start making better choices and decisions. Choices and decisions are two different things, first and foremost. Let's break that down. You have a choice. You have the choice to say yes or no. You have the choice to say I do or I do not. You have the choice to say up or down, left or right. A decision means that you have taken that choice and you're making it permanent, right? So if I make the choice, if I decide and say, hey, I'm making this choice to say, yes, I'm going to go this route, and then I make that my decision, that is stamped. That is something that's permanent. And what we often do not do in the Black community as it pertains to our health is make the best choices so that we can make the proper decisions. We never, ever sit back and ask the necessary questions. Oftentimes, we don't even understand that we have a voice so that we can make a choice, because we've been told what to do our entire lives by the government, by the school, by your parent, by everybody. We are so oblivious to the point that we've been groomed and trained not to think for ourselves, especially when it comes to the healthcare facilities. So when they throw these words at us, when it comes to prescriptions and medicines, medications and diagnosis, right? As soon as we see these words, we freak out. We immediately say, hey, I don't know what this means. I don't understand what it means. Therefore, I do not want to even ask a question because I don't want to sound illiterate. I don't want to sound dumb or crazy, right? But guess what? America, we have YouTube, we have Google, we have books, we have Black doctors and nurses and all of the above, people who can provide you with the correct information. And I'm telling you this from experience, that it is extremely important that you start researching what it is that these doctors tell you so that you can make the proper decisions for yourself and for your family. And just because you are feeling fine, just because you are healthy now, does not mean that will always be the case later on, which is why I'm telling you to get in mode now. Get in mode now. Start practicing, start researching and understanding what it is. Call your doctor and go to the hospital and request all of your medical records. CAT scans, ultrasounds, mammograms, MRIs, doctor after summary, doctor visits, everything. Go there. Legally, they have to give you your medical records if you request them. Request your medical records. After you request your medical records, go and ask them to give you statements from the billing department. It doesn't matter how far back, but you need to go in and look at how they're billing your insurance company and how much all of these things cost. Because numbers mean something, right? When you begin to analyze how much something costs, you can then begin to decide if this is the right provider for you, especially if we're talking about certain types of insurance. Because we all know that a lot of our people have experienced racism when it comes to the healthcare system. Because not just because we're Black, that's just the icing on the cake, but it's because of the type of insurance that we typically have. So when you gather your medical records and your billing statements, you need to go through everything. You need to research what these medications mean, the side effects that they have. You need to study how to break the words down and what each word means. Everything. Look through it all so that you can make the proper decision going forward. You have to take control. You have to take control. This is how we take control of our lives. If you are unhealthy in any aspect, you are no good to not only yourself, but everyone around you. And a lot of the times, unfortunately, we've seen our loved ones pass away because they experienced health issues that they didn't even know that they had, because they went based off of whatever decision their primary doctor made for them without doing the proper research, right? So again, do your research so that you can make a choice. And when you make a choice, when you have the correct information, you're able to make the proper decisions, right? So now we're talking about, that's the physical health aspect of it, right? What about priorities? We all say family comes first, but do you make time for your family? We say that health matters, but do you make time for your health? You say that peace is important, but how much energy are we giving to unnecessary conflict? I've learned something about myself for years. I believed I had to be exceptionally simple so that I wouldn't be overlooked. That meant saying yes to almost everything in my career, in my life. More work, more responsibility, more pressure. Eventually, I realized that being busy isn't the same as being purposeful. I am most definitely purpose-driven now and not activity-driven. So I pose a question to you, Truth Nation. What receives the best version of you every day, or who? Is your calendar aligned with your convictions? 833-212-1017. 833-212-1017. Who receives and what receives the best version of you every day? How are you? What type of decisions are you making in your own personal life to make sure that you have a balance, right? Think about the moment you wake up, the moment you get yourself together, you get ready to start your day, you get ready for work, you go to work, you get off work, you come home. Throughout your 24 hours in the day, how many of those times are you able to make your own decisions? How much of that time are you able to spend to prioritize and say, this is what I want to do, but this is what I need to do? There's so many distractions that we have in life that causes us to make unnecessary decisions. And we constantly make unnecessary decisions based off of our emotions and what we are feeling. This is why people die. This is why people go to jail. This is why people are sick. This is why people are the way that we are. Because we're constantly distracted by things that should not be allowed in our doorways. That's forcing us to make decisions and prioritizing things that does not need to be a priority. We want to hear from you. We got a caller on the line. Gabrielle, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much for tapping in with us today. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to say one quick thing. I enjoy listening to you. I don't know how I even got to 101.7, but it happened like a couple days ago. And I'm like, bro, I really like this girl. Like, she speaks with so much conviction. I really, love to hear her talk, so I can be tapped in listening to everything that you be talking about. But secondly, to answer your question as far as what receives the best version of me every day, I would say my kids first. No, I would say me first. Well, me and my kids, Me and my kids and me and my everyday actually receives the best version of me because I'm too purpose-driven as well. You know, I don't want to be... everything that I do is with intention. With what I'm pursuing, how I'm showing up for my kids, because I'm very big on dismantling generational traumas.
Yes.
And, just doing it different for them. In order to do it different for my kids, I have to do it different for myself. I have to start questioning patterns. I have to start questioning certain mindsets that I have. I'm stuck in a loop, because when you're stuck in a loop for so long, it's just you recognize it because you see it every day, and then you start to get these feelings in your body. Your body gonna let you know before your mind do typically.
Absolutely.
You literally got to feel it in your body first before you see oh, what's wrong. So I receive the best version of me every day first, and then my kids. It all goes hand in hand, but I can't be a good mother to them if I'm simply not being good to myself, if I'm not pouring the love into myself. So it's like hell yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gabriella. Thank you so much for tapping in. I ask that you continue to tap in with us Monday through Friday, consistently. And everything you just said, I echo the same sentiment. I truly believe that you have to be the best, give the best version of yourself to yourself first. That's what real self-love is. And then your children after that. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's how it's supposed to be, because if you do not pour into yourself first, you can't be what you need to be for others. It's impossible, even for your children. And some people will be like, hey, I put my kids first. I put myself first. I put myself first, because there's no way that I can be the mother I need to be if I'm not together. So thank you so much, Gabrielle, for highlighting that and for tapping in with us. We got to go to break. Do not touch that dial. We are talking choices, decisions, and priorities. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler, 101.7 The Truth. One on 1.7 The Truth. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct, and we are talking choices, decisions, and priorities, right? Earlier we were talking about my breast cancer journey and the decisions I had to make when it comes to the healthcare facilities and the doctors that we choose, and educating ourselves. Always making sure that we are aware of whatever it is that they are telling us, not just the doctors, but anybody, right? Our whole lives, we have been controlled. We have been groomed to trust what other people say. And it's time that we start making these choices and decisions on our own. To pick back up where we left off, choices and decisions not only affect your health physically, but it also affects your health mentally, emotionally, and spiritually as well. And one of the things that I want to touch on, that I was touching on before we went to break, is priorities. When it comes to the decisions that you make, how much of your time are you spending making decisions to make sure that you prioritize certain things and certain people in your life, right? I feel like every day from the moment we wake up until the moment we lay down, we are pushed with, there's agenda and propaganda, right? There's decisions being made for us. There's programming that's forcing us to make certain decisions, to think a certain way. There's things that's happening to keep us distracted as a people, so much to the point where we don't even realize that we don't have any self-control like we think we do. And for those who have been through certain things in their life, like me, health issues, cancer, or who have family members who have been through it, it begins to shape you a little differently, right? You begin to think different, you feel different, you act different. And I realized that after my breast cancer recovery, I became very impulsive, not in a way where it was like I was reactionary or negative, but it was just like, hey, I don't know how much time I'm going to have on this earth. Therefore, I want to make sure I cherish my time. And I'm very serious about that. That's a priority for me. My time is a priority for me, because I have been in a situation where I didn't know how the cancer was going to go. I didn't know if they was going to tell me I had stage 4 cancer. I never know when I go back if they're going to say that the cancer is back. I don't know. So I have to be careful when it comes to not only the decisions I make, but how I how I choose my how I make my choices and how I choose my priorities. So I want you to think about the things in your life now that you feel like you need to prioritize, but you don't. From the time you wake up until the time you go to sleep, what can you do to create a better balance? What can you do to make better choices in your life? What help do you need to make sure that you can make these decisions? And when you make these decisions, you're able to stand on it, right? And this is me talking to you, Truth Nation, because we all need somebody. We all need help. We all need guidance. We all need to be in a position to where we can make proper choices and proper decisions so that we can have a healthy life. And a lot of what we're doing, a lot of what we're consuming, from the food to the media to what we listen to the things that we say the music, all of the above are not necessarily the best choices for us. And then we begin to make decisions that reflect that. And we become angry with everyone except for ourselves. So today is time for some reflection, some self-reflection. What is your priorities? What choices and decisions are you making? But also remember that when you are making, so it sounds very minute, right? Because the average person is probably like, I got my life in order. I know the choices and decisions I make is the right ones because I'm wealthy or I'm successful in life. That does not necessarily mean that you have made the right decisions or the right choices. That doesn't necessarily mean that. And keep in mind that when we are put in positions to where we have a choice and we have to make a decision, we are not just making decisions for ourselves. We are making decisions for our children, our family, our loved ones, for society. When you make a decision for yourself, you're making a decision for society. This is the mind frame you have to have, because whatever decision you make is going to affect the society. If I make a decision to act a plum fool when I leave up out this station, that's going to affect the people in society. So you have to become subjective in that manner and understand what it is that your thought process, how you're feeling in that moment, have some self-reflection and some self-accountability. Analyze what it is that you listen to on a day-to-day basis, whether it's music, whether it's TV, whether it's talk radio, whether it's friends, family, whatever it is. Begin to analyze these things and self-reflect so that you can start making choices that fit the life that you want and not the life that you have. And once you start making those choices, you can make decisions, and then your life will begin to change. You have to make this a priority. Make decisions a priority, right? Don't be someone who is lukewarm. Either you're hot or you cold. It doesn't matter which one, but you have to choose one. Don't be indecisive. Be a person who know that you have a voice, you have a choice, and that you can make this decision. And then you take those decisions and you prioritize it, right? Marriage, college, military, having children, leaving a job, walking away, forgiveness. All of these are decisions. Everything that we do every single day is a decision. And these decisions affect our future and in the present moment. That's why it's so important. That's why it's extremely important. When we talked about the physical health, but with the mental health of it, right? Everything that I just broke down is all mental. And it's going to save you a lot of chaos and confusion and a lot of unnecessary conflictions. If you can begin to simply have self-control and make the choice to say, you know what, today I'm going to make this a lifestyle and not a trend. My lifestyle consists of me making choices to make sure that I can make the correct decisions. Because I have been through cancer, because I have been through so many things in my life, my time is valuable. My time matters. I don't play when it comes to people wasting my time. I have to communicate a certain way. I have to be a certain way because I'm purpose driven and I am on a spiritual assignment. But that was a choice that I made. And because I made that choice, I'm able to make the decisions and stand on them 10 toes. So now we're going to get into the root of it, right? Because we like to have these conversations. We like to think of ourselves and put ourselves on a pedestal, as we should. But if someone was to view your life, not on social media, but in real life, for 7 days, what would they observe? What type of decisions are you making? Are they decisions that you are embarrassed about? Are they decisions that you are ecstatic about? What type of decisions are you making in your life? And how is it affecting you and those around you? You're making a decision right now to listen. You're making a decision to do whatever it is that you're doing. But if someone else was watching you, would you still make those same decisions? Your decisions dictate what it is you want to do, where it is you want to go, and it's going to dictate how successful you'll become. That's why I constantly keep saying it. Like, the more you think about it, how many of you have been in a situation where you like, man, I wish I would have never done that. I wish I can go back and rewind the hands of time. Boy, I wouldn't have talked to her. I wouldn't have talked to him. I wouldn't have went down this street. I wouldn't have made that turn. I wouldn't have watched this movie. I wouldn't have listened to, what's that? Boosie. Because now I want to fight. I wouldn't have done a lot of stuff. Right? There are so many decisions we have made to the point where it affects us on a day-to-day basis, and we don't even understand how much it affects us. That's why it's important. It's extremely important. Make these decisions and stand on them. And when you stand on it, make sure that you understand the decision that you're making is not just for you, but it's for those around you as well. Right? Because one decision can cost you every single thing. One decision can put you in a situation that you don't want to be in, Truth Nation. Right? And make sure you prioritize whatever it is that you're standing on. When you go back and think about decisions that you've made, be okay with it and just understand that you need not to make those decisions again. We are talking choices, decisions, priorities. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. Do not touch that dial. We got to go to
Health Institute and the Ad Council.
True 101.7 The Truth. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct at the American Family Insurance Studio in the heart of beautiful downtown Milwaukee. And today we are talking choices, priority, and decisions, right? So earlier in the show, we were talking about the doctors and professionals in Miami who were scamming. They were charging Medicaid, Medicare, private insurance companies for services that they were not providing to their patients, as well as medications. And I took you guys on a journey about my story with my experience with breast cancer and the health care facilities as well. Now we're talking about decisions, right? We've talked about decisions with the health piece, the physical health piece, but now we're talking about decisions with the mental health piece. And one of the things that I live by is making sure that whatever it is you do in your life on a day-to-day basis, make that a lifestyle and not a trend. It's extremely important that you take this serious, right? Because every decision that we make leads us down a path of destruction or for the betterment of ourselves, right? What are your priorities? What is it that you do the moment you open your eyes? How do you set the tone for your day? Because what you're feeling inside emotionally and spiritually is going to cause you to think about some things, and then that then becomes a choice and then a decision. So the mental health piece is a huge part in how we make our decisions. You have to be mentally stable. You have to have a certain amount of peace within you so that you can make the proper decisions in everything you do. Before we went to break, we were talking about how many of us have done something in our past that we wish we never did. Or you go back, or you are happy about some of the choices that you made in your past because of where you are now. At the end of the day, whatever it is, you made a decision. So when we're talking choices, decisions, priority, again, I'll reiterate, a choice is different from a decision. Understanding that you have a voice first, and with that voice, you can make a choice. You can make a choice to go left or right, up or down. But whenever you come up with that choice, you have to make a decision. And when you make a decision, that decision is permanent. And that decision is going to dictate what your life look like after you make it. These are the things that we have to start pumping into our community, into our youth, so that they can understand the importance of what it means to create a lifestyle to where you are making better choices and making better decisions. These are things that we do not talk about that we need to talk about. Make better choices when it comes to your doctor. Don't allow your medical professional to tell you anything without you asking questions and doing the proper research so that you can make the correct decision for yourself or for your loved ones. Make sure that whatever decision you are making in your relationship is a decision to where you know that you won't be physically abused, mentally abused, sexually abused, all of the above. All of the decisions that we make us who we are. And some of us are making poor decisions. And we're not here to judge. We're simply here to say, hey, what is it that we can do to make better decisions and choices in our lives so that we can live the life that we want to? Have some self-discipline, do some self-reflection, and some self-accountability. That's where you can start. You can start with self-reflection. Right? We all have guilty pleasures. We all have temptations. Okay? I'm supposed to be on a diet. I just had a whole ribeye.
Bruh.
Listen, talking about, I want a summer body. It's summertime. I want a bikini body, right? I want to go to the beach. Not with a ribeye. Not stuffing a ribeye down my throat. I'm supposed to have a salad, right? Guilty pleasures. That was a horrible decision. That was a horrible decision. Everything you do, you have a choice and a decision, right? So for the youth that follow us, one of the things that I really, really, really want you guys to understand, if nobody ever tells you this, please hear me loud and clear. One decision can dictate your entire life. For the good or for the worse, right? One decision. And you have to be willing to live with that decision, right? I got to give a shout out to Mr. Word at Lawrenceville Correctional Facility. He's actually one of our partners with the Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation. And what he does is he does trainings inside of this correctional facility where he teach the guys on the inside how to make better choices so that when they go back into the world, and even if they never do, but if they go back into the world, they can begin to make better choices for themselves. And all of this stemmed from a decision that he made, a choice that he made, right? Which is why I'm telling the youth to be careful about the choices that you make. Do not allow your emotions to overpower logic. Do not allow your emotions to dictate your future. Because whatever you feel is just in the moment. Whatever you feel is just in that moment. If you want to feel that forever, you have to make a certain choice. If you don't want to feel that forever, you have to make a certain choice. But either way, everything that you do matters. Use your time wisely. Make sure you prioritize, right? For those who have loved ones, like your parents, if your parents are still here, man, cherish your parents. Spend time with them. Make that a priority. Your kids, your family, all of the above. These are decisions that we have to start making, and we have to be okay with these decisions and understand that everything we do is going to have a ripple effect. If you want to live a certain way, you want to live a certain life, you want to be around your loved ones, you want to be healthy and wealthy, it all starts with the choices that you make, right? How do you prioritize your choices? How do you prioritize your decisions? Where do you even begin to start? And trust me when I tell you, it's difficult. I'm a mother of 3. I'm a producer by day at a high school and a radio host by night. And then I also manage a comedian, and I'm also on a board, 2 boards. I have no idea how I'm able to do the things that I do. But what I do know is that every decision I make and every decision I have made this far has gotten me to the point where I am today. And I've done a lot of self-reflection, and I've done a lot of self-accountability to where now I'm in the stage of prioritizing my decisions, right? And being okay with decisions that I have made. We are distracted 24/7. We are bombarded with life, just life in general. So understand, I get it, it's hard. We can't continue to. I used to be a person who used to do whatever I wanted to do because I was having my way. I was rapping in the industry around everybody you can think of. And my lifestyle was, I'm going to do what I want to do, and who gonna tell me otherwise? That is not self-discipline. That is not the correct decision, right? You have to have self-discipline. You have to have self-discipline in order to make the right decisions and choices. We got a caller on the line. Al, are you there?
Yes, I am. See, the thing is, it's not what you do, it's how you do it and how you execute it.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is with the youth, nobody really talking to them. Yet the people who's talking to them are very ignorant. They're very Mad Dog 2020 manifested. See, if it was me talking to the youth, I would tell the youth, sometimes you got to let people die out. Sometimes you got to let them rot, like somebody sitting on the curb with their stomach touching their back. Because no matter how kind you are, they're going to stab you in your back. And that's the best way. Sometimes karma will give them 3 rectums, 2 mouths, 6 eyes, and 4 hearts. Sometimes you have to let them rot. Just for me, it's people I have helped in the past. And when I think about it, I should have let them die on the curb of Chicago until they were maggots, okay? But the thing is, you learn from your decisions. You just make sure you don't go back to the decision. So with that being said, if the youth is listening, if people is not doing right by you, let them die out. Let them call on Jesus. Don't let them call on you. Let their karma eat them the hell up. And you focus on you. That goes for man, woman, child, friends, and family members. Let them die out. And also, if they get quiet on the telephone, you let them know, I'm not going to ask you for anything that's not in your heart that you're going to fail at anyway. Have a great day and a great holiday. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Al. Yes, so to the youth, again, the decisions that you make, first and foremost, know this. I'm not here to judge you because we've all been your age and we all have made decisions and choices that we are embarrassed about or ashamed, right? So I'm not sitting here saying you're wrong for making the choices or decisions that you have made this far, but I'm here to tell you to start to think about the choices and decisions that you make. If you know that you've made the wrong decision in your life before, work towards not making the same decision, right? Change your attitude, change your thought process, because that decision in a split second can change your entire life. No, you're not wrong for doing whatever it is that you're doing, because a lot of the times we don't know. That's just the truth. We want to bash a lot of people for choices that they make without understanding the shoes that they've walked in. We don't understand where they come from, why they are the way that they are. We just say, hey, they made this decision. They're a horrible person, all of the above. But you have no idea what some people have been through. You have no idea how their lives could have changed if someone would have sat down with them and told them about making the right decision and the right choices. Not even just youth, adults as well. Everything that we're doing in life is based off of what someone else taught us. or what someone else did not teach us. So again, we are talking choices, priorities, and
Saving Care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
One on 1.7 The Truth. It's your girl Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct at the American Family Insurance Studio in the heart of beautiful downtown Milwaukee. UWM Roar program at UWM Milwaukee. Students don't have to wait until college to start building their future. Roar Ready lets students in K through 12th grade join in hands-on programs across campus, from science and tech to art, sports, and more. Students try new things, meet new people, and build skills that matter. Get started today at uwm.edu/roarready. Truth Nation, thank you so much for tapping in today. We are talking choices, decisions, and priorities, right? We all have been in situations where we have made the wrong decisions and the wrong choices, and it has landed us in situations that we may not have wanted to be in. And as someone who has been through many trials and tribulations, I cannot express to you how important choices and decisions are, and that I truly encourage those who are listening, our community. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, right? Just please take the time out to think about the choices and decisions that you are making, because they affect not only you, but society as a whole. They affect us all. When we choose to make a choice subjectively, it affects everyone objectively, right? So you have to go through the process of thinking about the things you have been through and making sure that you break those habits. Going back to our caller, Gabrielle, who mentioned that she's in the business of breaking generational trauma, right? So this can be family related. This can be not family related. But at the end of the day, we have to be able to sit with ourselves and understand who we are as human beings first, as your individual self. Learn yourself. This is why it's so important to stay in solitude, not isolation. Isolation is when the enemy comes into play. Solitude is when you sit with yourself and you sit with the Most High and you receive the messages that you need to in order to have clarity so that you can make the correct choices and decisions. But ultimately, you need to sit with yourself. Sit with yourself. A year, 2 years, however long it takes. But sit with yourself and learn yourself. Learn yourself so much to the point that you know who you are inside and out. Not who you used to be, not who you want to be, but who you currently are in the present moment. We have a caller on the line. Brother Love, are you there?
Hey, Jazzy, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm feeling good, Jazzy. You doing so good on this. You make me want to sing my heart out to you.
Thank you. Thank you for tapping in with us today.
Yes. So you say one bad decision can cost a young man his life. You think that could be the reason why I ain't got my priorities all in order?
I wouldn't necessarily say that could be. That's the reason why you don't have your priorities in order. But what I was saying before we took your call was the best way to have your priorities in order is to sit with self, is to learn yourself. Right. And people automatically assume that they know who they are because they're with themselves every day. But we're distracted by so many things to the point where when you sit back and look at it to its entirety, a lot of us don't know who we are because we don't take the time to sit in solitude to understand who we are.
Yes. So, yes, and I want to say yes. And what you're saying is so near and dear to my heart, and you expressing it with such great clarity. I just say You're a strong and great woman and good woman, and keep up the good work, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for tapping in. Shout out to the studio text line. Wesley Abaya says, no matter what happened yesterday, today you can begin to make good and righteous decisions to show everyone that you are now on a new path to become trustworthy and reliable, or just better health overall. Ask for forgiveness and forgive others and be accountable. This is true, right? So again, not just to the youth, but to the people. Understand that even if you have not made the best decisions and choices in life, tomorrow is another day. You still have the opportunity to make a better decision. It's not over. I'm telling you. Matter of fact, those are the greatest comeback stories ever. When you look at everyone who has been successful, and not just in a wealthy type of way, but just success overall, right? Peace, blessed with peace, internal peace, and maybe wealth. They all have a story where they made the wrong decisions initially. There is no blueprint to life to its entirety. Depending on what you're into religion-wise, you have books, you have things that can help navigate and guide you. But there is no thing on earth that can tell one specific person to its entirety how you should live your life based on the choices that you make and the decisions that you make in that ABCD. You have to figure this thing called life out. You have to go through life and figure it out. That's a part of life. That's a part of being successful, right? When was the last time you reflected on your journey? When was the last time you sat back and say, hey, I didn't make the best decision before. Do I trust myself to make the right decision? Do you trust yourself to make the right decision? That's a loaded question. Because oftentimes the answer should be no. Based on the things you have done, look at your own track record. Stop worrying about what everybody else has going on and take a step back and look at your own track record. Do you trust yourself enough to make the right decisions? And if not, what are you going to do to make sure that going forward you do make the right decisions and that you do make the right choices? Everyone is very judgmental when it comes to being someone who has made mistakes. But it's okay to forgive. It's okay to go through things. All of that is okay, as long as you learn from what it is that you're doing. Because I have been through so many different things in my life, it's been important for me to make the decision to prioritize what means the most to me. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times we do things based off of whatever it is that we want to do, how we're feeling in that moment, and because we're trying to take care of ourselves and our families. We make decisions based off of that. Now I'm making it a decision to prioritize the things that I want and the people that I want to be around, where before it was not a priority, because the only priority was making sure that me and mine was okay. Because I have changed my priority list, life has gotten a little bit easier, right? So again, it's okay to kind of go back and reflect and look at, create 6-month goals. This is what 6 months of goals and reflection. This is what I have done the past 6 months. This is what worked. This is what did not work. This is what I need to do going forward. And see if that works. See how much of that actually helps you in your endeavors. And then you begin to prioritize. You begin to understand yourself on a completely new level. So now you get to the point where you do trust yourself to make the right decision and the right choices. I have friends now who would tell you, I don't trust myself. They'll be like, I don't trust myself to make the right decision because I'm always go with what's wrong because that's all I know. It's a lot of people out here like that. It's a lot of people out here in this world who will continue to make the same choices and decisions because that's all they know. That's what's comfortable. That's what's familiar, whether it's right or wrong. So you have to pull yourself up out of that and start challenging yourself in a way to where you know that you're willing to make the right decisions moving forward. We are talking choices and priorities. Do not touch that dial. We got to go to break to pay some bills pretty soon. I want to pose a couple of questions before we go to break. Earlier in the conversation, we were talking about the doctors in Miami, Florida, where they were a part of fraud. They've been charged with fraud because they had been charging Medicaid, Medicare, and private insurance companies for services that they actually were not providing to their patients. And as a result, they are facing jail time. So the question to you, Truth Nation, is how much trust do you have in your doctors? And as it pertains to choices and decisions, are you making the correct choices in your life? 101.7 The Truth. It's your girl Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct at the American Family Insurance Studio in the beautiful heart of downtown Milwaukee. Get ready. 101.7 The Truth Fest is back. Join us Saturday, August 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Riverside University High School for free back-to-school resources, live entertainment, family activities, and community fun. Vendors and sponsors can reserve a spot by emailing Sierra, that's Cierra, .brown@MilwaukeeBlackMedia.com. Proudly sponsored by Educators Credit Union, Gruber Law Offices, and American Family Insurance. Truth Nation, we talking choices and decisions, right? And come across my desk that the mayor of Milwaukee has received from Governor Tony Evers $2.2 million from the American Rescue Plan Act grant, right? Now, what they plan to do with this $2.2 million is to free up the Milwaukee Police Department officers so that they're able to work inside of the entertainment district. We all know that's 3rd Street, downtown, Water Street, the Deer District, all of the above. This includes $400,000 for officers overtime, as well as $1 million to hire civilian contractors to replace sworn officers, right? In addition, $500,000 is being allocated to pay for remote controlled security fencing that will be raised on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights to turn the area into a pedestrian-only corridor. How do y'all feel about this? How do y'all feel about us taking the $2.2 million budget and giving it to MPD specifically for the entertainment district only? You know, I know that there has been many issues when it comes to downtown Milwaukee and a lot of complaints about the violence and the abruptions and a lot of youth being down there and doing what they do, right? So Chief Jeff Norman said that MPD will begin to enforce a largely ignored ordinance that children under the age of 17 must be off any public property or escorted by a guardian starting at 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday at 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. He also said that food trucks parked near the downtown bar district could be relocated to better control crowds. According to them, the youngest individual arrested in connection with one of 3 shootings was 19. 5 of the 11 people arrested were under the age of 21, and victims' ages range from 15 to 47. All of the shooting victims were expected to live. But basically, they're saying that all of our youth under the age of 21 who are in the entertainment district, which ultimately is like Brady Street, Water Street, 3rd Street, Deer District, that whole area, that they're giving $2.2 million to the Milwaukee Police Department to police that area to make sure that they keep it the way that they need it to be, a safe place. But my question is, and I'm not opposed to that because I've seen it and I understand what's happening. I'm not opposed to us figuring out a way to keep it safe for the youth. That's what I'm not opposed to. But my question is, what do we do with the rest of the inner city? I mean, like, yes, we understand that there are things happening in the entertainment district. Well, that's because the youth have nothing to do. Yes, we understand that they need, assistance down there with breaking up large crowds, all of the above. But what about what's going on with the other side of Milwaukee? See, this is where I go back to this Milwaukee and that Milwaukee. When will there be a budget for our Milwaukee, right? Because I know a lot of people in the inner city who are afraid to drive down the street, who are afraid to walk down certain streets. Not everywhere, but just based off of the things that occur on a day-to-day basis. And I've actually sat by and seen things happen and MPD does nothing. Maybe they tired, maybe they don't feel the need to, or maybe they not getting paid enough. But I'm simply saying, where's the money for the inner city of Milwaukee? Where's the money for the things that's happening in the inner city of Milwaukee? And how can we take some of these funds and create things for these youth? So again, these are preventative measures. If we're going to give the police department $2.2 million to combat whatever they say the youth is doing in the entertainment district, let's match that with another $2.2 million in the inner city to build and create programs, not the programs we want, but the programs that the youth need and that they want so that they can stay out of the entertainment district. Let's match those funds to make sure that when they're policing them down there and they're running them out of there, that they have somewhere to go to. Because honestly, that's what's going to happen. They're taking over 3rd Street. They're taking over Water Street. They're taking over Brady Street because they don't have nothing to do. So when they run them from up down there, they coming right back to the inner city. And then what? And then we're left with the Boys and Girls Club. We're left with the parks. We're left with organizations that's getting millions of dollars but aren't necessarily tapping into the youth who are out here doing what they're doing. Come on. We have to make it equal. If you're going to give them that much money, then give the hood $2.2 million too, so that we can have services that match it, so that when they run them from downtown and they come right back to the inner city, we don't have them problems either. We got a caller on the line. Brandon, are you there?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tapping in with us today. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I am well.
First off, I think that I'm happy with the allocation of that like $2.5 million you said to the downtown area. What I enjoy about it is it's tied to something that's going to be tangible. Very often, money will come into our community and we're really not able to see where it's being deployed, and it's, in given the opportunity to track its impact. So I think we're going to have an opportunity to see what kind of changes that money will create downtown. I think it certainly it drives the reputation of the entire city. So it's important to make sure that that's sort of shown in the proper light, because it can have lasting effects. If folks feel like our downtown is not a place they want to come have fun, when you talk about the metropolitan area, that could really be an anchor, in a bad way for the rest of the city. And then lastly, about your comment about kids needing a place to go, I really enjoyed listening to you. I'm fairly a new listener since the change, but I really don't believe that the solutions are only about money. You know what I mean? To give you an example, kids at these schools, they have somewhere to go when they got a basketball game, but they still find themselves shooting up the basketball game. At a certain point, we got to look at the kids themselves and start, talking about the kind of culture that we're raising them in, and how, after they get around a certain number and a certain age, is really out of our hands. And that's what's really holding our community back.
You know what, Brandon? I don't disagree with you, but my rebuttal to that would be it takes money in order to change things, right? So we know that when it comes to the youth and the state of the youth, that the community, the parents, the teachers, everybody who is in their life has to play a role. But we also know that money plays a part. Why does money play a part? Because when you go inside the inner city of Milwaukee, take a look at what these children are eating. The things that they are eating are deteriorating their brains, right? Junk food, fast food, corner store food, they don't have healthy options. When we talk about the inner city, we're looking at how some of these youth are living. That takes money. Reinvesting into the neighborhood, putting parents and families in positions to where they can live in a healthy environment, right? So it does take money. I used to, someone coming from grassroots, right, who's done a lot of work, boots on the ground, that used to be my ideology until I started to see that everything takes money. And the reason why we don't have what we have is because the inner city don't have money. When you go back to the 80s, the 90s, even the 60s and 70s, and you look at certain areas throughout the inner city of Milwaukee, these were families who were middle class. These were families who had jobs. They had income. They had the resources were inside of the neighborhoods. That no longer exists. That no longer exists. There has to be some type of funding given back. We can't just focus on, so I'll say this, not to be biased because I don't have any issues with, the mayor and his plans. What I'm saying is when it comes to the downtown Milwaukee, right, we understand that that is what drives the economy throughout the entire city of Milwaukee. But at the same time, if we begin to revitalize certain areas throughout the city of Milwaukee, those same areas can begin to create a ripple effect and create some type of economic growth as well. But as long as we are focused strictly on where they are and not where they're going, we're going to always end up in the same positions. And granted, there is funding. I've been watching. There's funding given out to, we're doing safe summer initiatives and, programming and all of that. And that's cool and that's fine. But what happens once the summer ends? What happens when it's time for these kids to go back to school? What happens when they no longer care about, when they start doing the same thing in the winter and fall? It can't just be for right now. And that's
possible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative,
and established the field of neuromuscular medicine. And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
101.7 The Truth. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct at the American Family Insurance Studio in the beautiful heart of downtown Milwaukee. Today, we have been talking choices, decisions, and priorities. And before we went to break, we were talking about the $2.2 million allocation that Governor Tony Evers has allotted to the city of Milwaukee. And Mayor Johnson did a press release announcing that a certain amount of that will be going to Milwaukee Police Department, right? Exactly $2.2 million will be going to the police department to assist with things that's happening in the entertainment district. That's the Brady Street, the Water Street, the 3rd Street, downtown Deer District, all of the above. And we were talking about the other side of that, right? We understand that there's funding going to those areas and that they're giving funding for safe summer initiatives to the other side of Milwaukee. But how effective are these initiatives, and why is it that we never do anything after the summertime, right? This is a year-round thing. Another interesting thing that I came across is that apparently when it comes down to the downtown business improvement district 21, in 2021 they hired a nightlife consultant. But check this. The consultant representatives come from Kansas City, Memphis, and New Orleans. They were hired by the city of Milwaukee to provide strategies based on the things that's happening in the nightlife here. But when we take a look at the crime in Kansas City, Memphis, and New Orleans, I'm kind of skeptical. I'm not sure if we should be taking advice from these cities when they haven't even gotten their affairs in order, right? There's still a lot of things that's happening in these cities. So this brings me to the point of decisions. Who are we getting our advice from as a city? This is something that I want us to think about too, right? And I'm glad I ran across this because oftentimes when we look at decisions, we look at leadership and just the leadership not understanding that they have consultants. They are being, they're in conversations in Rome and getting advice from other leaders in different cities and states based off of whatever they model their city and state after. So if we're asking for advice from places like a Memphis and New Orleans, and make it make sense. Make it make sense. When you look at these places, these are not the places that I think Milwaukee should be modeling their nightlife after. Because whatever solutions they have apparently hasn't worked in those cities and states either. Shout out to the chat. Aaron said, if they cared about us, they will fund real social projects and keep their fake socialist East Side clowns out of our business. Shout out to my cousin Marty. He says 100. And Aaron also said they fund us temporarily to pacify us. Then when it's no longer in vogue, they leave. And I'm only talking about our black city politicians. Well, at the end of the day, a lot of money that we receive is already accounted for. Sometimes they like to act like they want to include us, but they already have plans. They already have plans of what they want to do with the funding. And the reality is a lot of us don't have any say-so when it comes to that, right? They're going to do whatever it is that they feel is best for us, which is why they were voted in. However, at some point, we still need to have some type of say-so in that as well. We still need to have some type of say-so in that as well. So if you had $2.2 million and you were the governor and the mayor of Wisconsin and Milwaukee, what would you do with it? What would you do with that $2.2 million? How would you spend that money throughout the entire state or throughout the entire city of Milwaukee to ensure that we have not just a safe summer, but a safe neighborhood, right? What would you do? Speaking of money, are you looking to discover and support local businesses in our community? Then make sure you tune in every Friday at 8 a.m. to Truth in the Morning with Homer Blow and Bailey Coleman for What the Business Is, powered by We Energies. Each week you'll hear from local business owners as they share what their business is and where they are located, and one valuable lesson they've learned along the way. We Energies is proud to help power local businesses in the communities they serve. Don't miss What the Business Is every Friday at 8 a.m. only on Truth in the Morning with Homer Blow and Bailey Coleman, powered by We Energies, delivering the energy that powers local businesses. Again, the question at hand is, we received $2.2 million from Governor Evers. And if I'm not mistaken, the county, the Milwaukee Department of Health Services received $8 million. They received $8 million of that $2.2 million. But he gave us $2.2 million for downtown. The county is giving money for safe summer initiatives, all of the above. My question is, what do we do when the summer is over? What do we do when the summer is over? What do we do when these kids are ran from downtown, up out of downtown, and they start heading back into the inner cities? What do we do? The reality is, a lot of the organizations that receive funding, they've been doing it for quite some time, and they understand the needs. But at the same time, if we take, I don't want to be biased. I want to be fair. If we take a look at the history of Milwaukee and we look the past 5 to 10 years, what we need to ask ourselves is it working? Are these solutions working? The organizations that they give this money to, is it working? Or is it based off of relationships? Are they giving money to people that they have relationships with and not necessarily the money to people who have the solutions? There's a lot of backbiting. There's a lot of blocking and gatekeeping behind closed doors because people are trying to fatten their own pockets rather than making sure we have a safe city for all. So who really should be getting the money? These are things you have to think about when it comes to elections. These are things that you have to think about when it comes to who you put in office. Because at the end of the day, it affects us all. It affects your grandmother that still sits on her porch on 24th and Locust. It affects your kids that's playing on 14th and Burleigh. It affects your uncle that's driving down the street on 14th and Capitol. It doesn't matter where you go throughout the entire city of Milwaukee. Everything that happens when it comes to funding affects every single person. And believe it or not, a lot of us are not downtown. A lot of us do not hang out downtown. A lot of us are not kicking it downtown. And when we talk about the youth and them going down there, that's because they don't have anything to do. It's the summertime. What we say earlier, where the pool's at? Ain't no pools open. And then we love to say, hey, there's plenty of organizations. They can go to the Boys and Girls Club. They can go here. Guess what?
They broke open the fire hydrant?
The Boys and Girls Club don't want them. We seen today on the news how they broke open the fire hydrant, right? That stuff we used to do as a youth. I love it. I love it. It's something that if you know, you know. If you come from where you come from, you know. But again, I don't want to be biased. I'm tired of the biases. I'm doing it because this is my people got their own little cliques and cults. People walking around here like they John Gotti in these positions with this money. And they want to give it to who they want to give it to because it's an ego and a pissing contest. When do we put the people first? At what point do we put the people first? I don't make it make sense. These are facts. If you go back and look the past 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, I don't want to hear no lies about, oh, the crime hasn't been this. Man, listen. Or employment hasn't been this. Well, guess what? Employment rates only decrease when people ain't looking for jobs. It don't mean that they got a job. It mean they stopped looking. Hello. Same thing is happening when it comes to the crime. So what are we going to do, right? When we have these elections and we have people in positions,
of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
It's been cool, baby.
so I got a mix, man. At the club, I was pull up to the kickback. 762, yeah, it's the whip that. Walk inside the club, yeah, it's a player in the room. Slapping on her head from the morning to the noon. She wanna do a different world, baby, take it soon. Playing like a tick, watch this boom. Cracking, I'm done with it, get up out the room. Maintenance, sweeping from a broom. Blowing straight gas, baby, keys smell the fume. Going straight dumb on that, I'm alone. Ha, there it is. Yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Yeah.
It's been cool, baby.
Pull up with that no joke. Addicted to my man here itching this no dope. I just seen your baby in my mentions that no bro. I just seen your baby in my mentions that no weak. Like you should go cheat. I done touched 100, that was so easy. I just blew a 20, that was so easy. Told her I get busy, she like don't tease me. They just sit and watch, wanna knock my plans. I was in the kitchen with a pot, forgot to wash my hands. Keep on staring at my watch, I didn't my mans. I just put a button on the and her drop my gin. I didn't drop my gun. I thought it was smoke. Oh none. You're broke, he ain't got no money. Boy, a joke, I am not no dummy. Jungle baby, stay in, ain't mention. Don't hear what they say on attention. Pull up with the gang, leave them twitching. I keep with 2K, but I ain't switching. They can post that it's not my mans. Then like they won't smoke, they ain't got no bend. You stop saying you my op, you cannot show 10. You need some tints on that whip, almost shot your fin. Pull up with that, this is no joke. Addicted to my man here itching this. Oh, I just seen your baby in my mentions that no bro. I just seen your baby in my mentions that no weak. Like you should go cheat. I done touched 100, that was so easy. I just blew a 20, that was so easy. Told her I get busy, she like don't tease me.
101.7 The Truth with your girl Jazz Tyler. Shout out to 414 Jungle Baby and Big Freak. Listen, today we've been talking about choices and decisions, and before we went to break, we was talking about that 2.2 million that Evers has appointed to the city of Milwaukee, and the fact that a certain amount is going towards MPD to patrol the entertainment district, and then you have some that's going to the Safe Summer initiatives amongst the county, being awarded money to go towards Safe Summer initiatives. But is this the same old play and the same old playbook? Like, when you look at the past 10, 15 years, like, how much of this actually worked? So this is one I want to pose to Truth Nation. Somebody out there, I don't know who, but somebody, right? I want you to go back. Follow the money. So we know who's giving the money. Now I want you to pay attention to what organizations are receiving this money. And then I want you to pay attention to the organizations who are receiving the money and who they're giving the money to. Is it the same organizations? Has this been going on for far too long? Are there actual solutions happening? Or are people taking money and fattening their pockets and then acting like and already spending the money before they spend the money? Because a lot of that happens in politics. They like to say, hey, we want your input on where the money should go. But the reality is the money is already spent. The money has been spent on that Milwaukee, but not our Milwaukee. And what happens after the Safe Summer initiatives? Are the organizations that they're funding, is that enough? Is that enough? Do we need more? What is the solution? We constantly run to the same playbook year by year and expect different results. It happens every single time. And granted, there are people in position who will deliberately go behind closed doors to stop certain people that's really doing the work from receiving funds, knowing that they have the youth that needs the help. There's people in positions who have purposely been put in positions to make sure that we stay oppressed because they make too much money off of us not being that. There's people walking around here like they the mob. They got their gangs with them. Oh yeah, I'm in this position. I got this person with me in this position and this person with me in that position, and everybody getting money. Everybody getting money but the city. Everybody getting money but the citizens. When you ride through, listen, I barely want to ride in the inner city of Milwaukee when I'm driving because it's too much, man. Not even that I can't handle it. It just be hurting my feelings. I grew up here my whole life. I know that in a lot of these neighborhoods, there's still the same families that's been there since the 50s and 60s. And a lot of them are elders now. And to see the state of our city, the condition that our city is in. And y'all want to sit here and talk about the downtown district? You want to talk about giving the same organizations funding? Okay, I'm okay with that, but produce some results. We need proof. We need proof that this works. We need proof that the funding, the people y'all give this funding to, we need proof that it works. We're not talking about the organizations that y'all giving funding to go and get the same boys that they've been working with for the past 20 years. We're not talking about organizations y'all giving the money to that go and call somebody they know that got an organization to make it look like they doing something. You pump faking. That's what you doing. You pump faking. You can fool them, but you can't fool me. Who is we giving this money to, and why are we giving the money to them to begin with? Start taking a look, man, at these positions and start asking questions. I'm telling you, they be running this like they the mob around here. Milwaukee politics. Everybody want to fatten their pocket. Politics. Hello. They tricking. They tricking the masses of the people. They show up when it's cool and beneficial. They smile in your face, but behind closed doors, they telling people not to rock with you. Behind closed doors, they telling people not to fund you. Behind closed doors, they telling people why their program works better than yours. As if it's not enough money for everybody. Listen, you have so many, how many districts do we have? Like, you can't find one organizer from each district and throw them some bread to work their own neighborhoods? Y'all want to control everything? I don't understand. They get in these positions, not just political positions or elected official seats, but other things, other organizations for power purposes. And then they all join forces so they can be a force to be reckoned with. And they want to control everything. And then they get to dictate everything. And because we're so blinded by the fact that they're black or that they're showing up and they're smiling or acting like they want to do something for us, no, they don't. They want to get money. They want their pockets to be full. They want their families to eat. Well, guess what? So do the people on the east side. So do the people in the Meadows. So do the people on 29th and Cherry. So do the people on 27th and Burleigh. They want some money too. They want to eat too. They want to live in safe neighborhoods too. Not just for the summer, but year round. So when y'all talking about this money, holla at me when you talking about year-round services permanently, please. What is the solution going for forever? What Cardi B say? Forever. Not just for the summer, not just for now. What are the solutions going forward? Stop trying to make Milwaukee look pretty when her panties stink. Y'all trying to bring somebody in your house and you ain't even cleaned the house. You want it to look good for everybody else. Oh, we got to hurry up and clean up the downtown Milwaukee so that we can attract the new players since Giannis left. We have to clean up the downtown Milwaukee because we need new developers who are moving black people out of their neighborhoods. We got to clean up the vandalism on his portrait because we still love him and we want people to know that the next player that comes, that we cherish them. Y'all you took a bird bath, Milwaukee. Y'all taking bird baths. Y'all out here fitted, but y'all washing up in the sink and your panties stink.
That's dirty.
Come on, man. Get it together. Get it together. Stop taking these bird baths, man. Get your stinking self in that tub. Clean your house before you invite somebody over. Don't make no sense. We finding solutions. We are finding solutions. No longer are we allowing people to tell us what they want. No longer are we, as far as how they're going to do things, we're not allowing them to make the decisions. We're making decisions ourselves. We have a choice. We have a voice. So what decision are you going to make? How are you going to play a part in this? It's time for some folks to answer some questions. It's time for some folks to come forward. We don't want to have the politrick conversation. No, we want to have that I'm from 53206 conversation. When the last time you been here?
On a J.
What Kendrick say? Where your grandmama stay? Huh? I want to hear from you, Truth Nation, 833-212-1017. We're talking choices, decisions, and priorities as it pertains.
Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
4 deep in black trucks like the president. I bought this Rollie from an angel, my watch heavy scene.
101.7 The Truth. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct at the American Family Insurance Studio in the beautiful heart of downtown Milwaukee. Today, we are talking choices, decisions, and priorities. We started with healthcare. We started with mental health, physical health, emotional health, and spiritual health. Now we're talking priorities and decisions with leadership in the city of Milwaukee. Governor Evers appointed $2.2 million to the city of Milwaukee to be allocated to the Milwaukee Police Department to patrol downtown in regards to the responses of the chaos and confusion with youth under the age of 21, including some gun violence. They've also given the Milwaukee Department of Health and Human Services $8 million as well. And I've also seen that the county have received some money. But the question at hand is this the same playbook? Where's the money going? Who is the money going to? Is there people in position who are purposely blocking other people from getting the money, who are actually out here doing the work because they want to fatten their pockets? Is it an ego contest? Is it a pride thing? At the end of the day, you tell me. All I know is I'm tired of Milwaukee putting on this front, man. Like, we have to be real with ourselves. Our city, it looked good on the outside, but I'm telling you, there's that Milwaukee and then there's another Milwaukee. And every day, if you ride through the inner city, you will see it's all propaganda. It's all a front. There's people out there doing things in the inner city to make it look like they're actually doing something when they are not. They're getting paid to look like they're doing something. Okay? That's why you see them out there. They look like they doing something because that's what they get paid to do. Now ask them to provide proof. The past 5 to 10 years, certain people, certain organizations have received funding to do certain initiatives. They keep they keep pulling in the same youth they've been working with. They're not even trying. No one cares. Come on, man. It's time to come to the front. It's time to come to the front so we can get to the bottom of this. Why? Because I work with teens. I work with the elderly. And so do a lot of us. We all have roots here. We all know elderly people who can't even walk to the corner store or sit on a porch, rather. It's so much that's happening. And it's stemming from people having biases. It's stemming from people playing in our face. Stop letting these politicians and elected officials play on your top. They out here telling us, hey, we have this amount of money. How do you want to spend? The money spent. They spent the money already. They fooling you. Smoke and mirrors. They want you to feel included. But the reality is you don't have a say-so. What you do have a say-so in is who you put in office. What you do have a say-so in is how your neighborhood comes out. You play a part in which you live. We all know that the politics gonna be the politics. That's how this go. We all know that they're going to put people in position that they want in position to carry out whatever it is, that agenda or propaganda that they have. It does not mean that we don't have a choice or a voice. It does not mean that we can't ask them questions and bring the proof to follow the money and you will follow the agenda. Pull up the money. How much money has been given to the city of Milwaukee the past 5 to 10 years for violence prevention, economic growth, housing, food, resources, all of the above? And then go and see who they're giving the money to, and then go and see who they're giving the money to. And voila, just like magic, you'll have your answer if it's really working. What is the solution? Everybody pretends that they have the solution, they have the decisions for us. No, they don't. There are some people, some elected officials, not a lot. There are literally a few who will keep it 100, who are doing what they are supposed to be doing, who are playing their role and trying their hardest. And they're going up against a system that's not going to allow them to win either. But the reality is majority of the people in position are not pure-hearted people. Majority of the people in position that receive this money are not people that's really for the people. Majority of the people in this position is in this position and they doing what they doing because it's an ego thing. These are people who probably was corny, got bullied, all of the above. Now they older, they got a little power and they want to piss off everybody who made them feel away when they was younger. Go to therapy. Go to therapy. You sitting here playing with people's lives. You playing with the funding because you want to have an ego contest. You want to feel important. You want to be able to say you run a show. No. Half of the people that's in these positions don't even come from the places they're trying to fix. And if they did, ask them when was the last time they been here. And I ain't talking about no photo op. Can you spend a night in the hood where you hearing gunshots 24/7 in the street light so dark you scared to walk down the street? Can you pull up to 12th and Keith to go get some nachos? Because I do. Where you at? I don't see you. I don't see them. I don't know where they at. Tell me, how can you know what's happening and where to spend the money if you ain't never there? I want to know. Even an investor knows if I'm going to invest in something, I need to understand it to its entirety. I'm going to study it. I'm going to research it. I'm going to go physically be there. The people that are receiving these positions and this money are not in the places they claim to be. They pump faking. They not around. We ain't talking about pulling up with your gang and your clique and your security. We not talking about that. We talking about pull up on me. Pull up. Solo dolo. Yeah.
Pull up on me.
Pull up. Pull up solo dolo.
You're not my dad.
Not when you running for office. Not when you got a bag in your pocket. Not because of anything other than the fact that you really need to go to see what is going on. I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of pump faking out here. And I'm tired of it because I love this city. I left Milwaukee so many times to try and go and get resources and bring it back. But I realized that they have this city structured the way that it's structured for a specific reason, because it's only meant for certain people. There's only enough for a certain amount of Negroes to be at the top. That's just the reality. And if you around, you know who they are. If you around, you know exactly who they are. And the moment somebody pure-hearted, want a God's child, somebody come along and they real with this, that's the moment you become a threat, a problem. It's people out here real life every day that ain't on social media, that ain't taking pictures, that's really putting in the work. See, a lot of what we're dealing with in the city of Milwaukee is pride and ego. A lot of it is people got to gang up because by themselves, that ain't nothing. They got to be a part of something to feel like something. They don't know how to stand on their own. They ain't never stood 10 toes on their own in the areas that they're trying to service. They barely even come from it. Because let's be clear, you can say you come from the hood, but baby, you was on the sidewalk. You wasn't in the streets. So again, when we talk about making decisions and choices, make sure y'all start asking questions for the people that's running the city, all right? We got some choices to make and some decisions to make, and we got priorities, Milwaukee. Truth Nation. You hear me? We need a balance. Shout out to the homie Wave Chappelle. Y'all hear him? We need balance, man. That's my time. Y'all be safe. Y'all enjoy y'all week. I will see y'all next week. Truth Nation, Milwaukee. Have a beautiful evening. Stay hydrated. Stay cool. Be cool how you be cool. 101.7 The Truth.
Can't show you how to lose. They only show and tell. I'd rather show and prove. They want to see you stranded. I show them how to move. Keep your mind on the mission. That's